Welcome to the Screen the Screener College Basketball Podcast with your hosts, Mike Randall and Gus Kearns.
Welcome in, listeners, to the Screen the Screener College Basketball Podcast, where we're always talking everything college hoops. You could have been anywhere else in the dial, but you chose to be here with us, Mike and Gus. We appreciate that. Going to take you on a quick road trip and find 10 beautiful things from the sport that we love, college basketball, from the past week. Let's hop in the car, buckle that seatbelt, and keep our eyes wide open as we take a Screen the Screener style road trip around the sport that we all adore. Start line. Have to start our road trip inside the Big Ten with that Iowa-Illinois beauty from last Friday evening, when two of the best players in the nation on two top 25 teams. When those things get together, everyone smiles. Andre Curbelo makes things a little bit easier for Ayo Dosunmu and Trent Frazier by being clever, creative, and crafty with the ball. Now, great artists always get a little messy and create beauty for others to enjoy and admire. Curbelo is just that, a great artist with the ball in his hands on offense. Stop 2. Is everybody ready? Is everybody ready to place Auburn's Sharife Cooper on an All-America team somewhere? We here at Screen the Screener are very ready to do just that. The freshman student athlete is a legit game changer and makes the point guard position look much easier than it seems, especially inside Auburn's breakneck pace and offensive framework. Even though Cooper looked human against the talented Bears backcourt, he's just that good, just a joy to view, and is posting numbers that are just kind of bananas. Stop 3. Time to examine the array of canceled games this past week. No St. Louis Richmond, no Texas, Kentucky, no UConn again, no Michigan for a little bit longer. This type of shutdown is not going to go away over the next 2 months. And it's a huge shadow that's going to hang over March Madness until sneakers hit the hardwood in Indy this March. Contingency plans need to be firmed up if a school or a county or a program or a league or a whole state decides to shut down. The hope is something that is really fleeting. It's as fleeting as the Big East tournament pulling the plug on a game at halftime last year during championship season. Stop 4. Let's take time to admire, and we're going to still admire things out in Spokane. Just in case our beloved Zags needed another arrow in the quiver, grad transfer Aaron Cook goes off and has his moment for Gonzaga. Not only did he earn a 4.0 GPA during his first semester on campus, the combo guard comes off the bench when Frosh sensation Jalen Suggs garnered 2 early fouls. Both Nebhard and Cook came off the bench with the Zags trailing a pretty talented Peppertine squad. Cook goes off for 12 first-half points, plays with a little swagger, while Gonzaga rights the ship and goes for 49 in the first half with their future NBA lottery pick on the bench. There's just so much to admire in Spokane. Let's add Cook to that list. All right, time to take a pit stop. Time to hit the restroom, wash the hands, grab some snacks, and notice that both West Virginia and Houston seem to be, quote-unquote, just fine with the departure of key cogs, Oscar Tshiebwe and Caleb Mills. Houston sits at 15-1 after waxing a pretty solid SMU squad, 70-47, and Derek Culver seems to be thriving, averaging 12 boards a game over his last 5 games. Honestly, we can include both of these squads inside of any Final Four conversation moving forward. Stop 6. This is where we're going to play fortune teller and take the current temperature in college hoops and use a logical sample size. I think what we can do now is we can start talking about National Coach of the Year. I mean, obviously, we're going to include Coach Few and Coach Drew in any of those conversations, but I think we also might need to talk about Mike Young of Virginia Tech as a Coach of the Year candidate after clawing back from about down 10 against UVA. Coach Young needs to be in this conversation. And also, let's include Coach Mick Cronin of UCLA. If you lose your best player to injury and still lead the Conference of Champions, we need to include him in the conversation. Both coaches are solving problems, minus high-level student athletes. Coach Young had to solve the departure/transfer of scoring wing Landers Nolly, and Coach Cronin is solving basketball problems minus Chris Smith. Stop 7, we're going to hit the Jug Handle. It's a New Jersey staple in our weekly road trip, and just a lovely New Jersey brewery. And inside the state of New Jersey, it's time to pay attention to the Peacocks. The Peacocks ended Sienna's shortened season of perfection, even with podcast favorite Jalen Pickett. Homegrown head coach Shaheem Holloway has the Peacocks headed in the proper direction inside the MAC. And don't be surprised to hear the name Casey Nadefo included inside any Defensive Player of the Year conversations. Nadefo is a 6'7 junior and just might threaten the box score with the unconventional triple-double of points, rebounds, and blocks. Nadefo is currently leading the nation in blocks per game at over 4 a game, and his block percentage is also leading the nation at a 17.4 metric number. He averages a steal and a half per game as well. Nadefo seems like the Brandon Clark of the MAC. Wait, what was that? Oh, it was just another Drake win. They escaped and now sit at 16-0. Do me a favor, listeners. Let's all circle Valentine's Day on the calendar for many reasons. Drake and Cinderella darling Loyola Chicago match up twice that weekend. Let's all cross our newly washed fingers that Loyola Chicago, Cupid of the MVC, provides a top 20-ish Ken Palm team against an undefeated Drake team in what would be a dream matchup. Stop 9, we are thankful to view and listen to what happens to Matt McClung. His flair for final minute finishing is just fun to view. With a game winner already in his queue, McClung hit 2 final minute 3-pointers against LSU to help cap that massive comeback. And he and Terrence Shannon are 2 gritty late game grinders who can manufacture their own high level of difficulty attempts that really define and change game results. With a culture of toughness, defense, and valuing each possession, having 2 talented, fearless late-game closers is a really rare college hoops luxury, and Texas Tech has that. All right, our finish line for our road trip, the final beauty, belongs to Big 5 Philly basketball and college hoops icon Coach John Chaney. For decades, Coach Chaney was one of college basketball's finest beacons of knowledge, stature, and just plain old X and O's. Coach Chaney cared deeply about his student athletes, not just while enrolled at Temple, but well beyond those 4 years as an owl. College hoop fans will reflect back upon the dust-up with Coach Cal, and we can clearly see Coach Chaney's profound influence on Coach Cal's program and culture foundation. Multiple 5-star student athletes, prospects, future NBA millionaires put their trust in Coach Cal season after season at Kentucky, and this just may be a result of Coach Chaney's commitment to teaching, coaching, developing more than just a jump shot off the dribble. Coaches are always stealing productive trends, slob plays, metric info, but Coach Cal and many others kindly borrowed Coach Chaney's indelible, deep-rooted investment into each student athlete, playing multiple roles: coach, teacher, father figure, role model, and later on fan, of course foundation, and always an anchor. Sports provide some of the most unique relationship opportunities, and Coach Chaney seemed to foster every part of that relationship associated with sport and well beyond. Thanks for listening in to the Screen the Screener College Basketball Podcast Road Trip. We'll catch everybody before you know it. If you like what you're listening to, please don't be afraid to give the podcast a follow at SDS Podcast, efficiency of keystrokes, of course, on Twitter. Please go ahead and give my co-host Mike Randall a follow at Randall Rant. He is insightful, educational, and entertaining in one nice, tidy little package. And if you really like what you're listening to, please don't be afraid to leave a little kindness in the review box of your podcast consumption vehicle of choice. Pleased to be part of your college basketball conduit, and thanks for letting us keep you company during the season. Cheers, cilantro, grazie, arigato.